Hey, everybody, it is Nancy Friedman, St. Louis telephone doctor. And if you don't know the person on the other side of the screen, you've been living in a rock, under a rock. I'm sorry. It is Scott Greenberg, author, speaker, entrepreneur, franchise brouhaha. I don't have all those words. And I'm going to interview
Keep going. You're doing great. Please
so
continue.
far. Okay. You
I'm
have
loving
two
this so far.
you have two speakers who love to talk. So if we cross over, just don't pay any attention. All right, we're going to have some fun today. Um, okay, I won't tell you our secret. So bottom line, Scott lives in San Francisco. Am I right?
Nope.
Oh, shoot. Where do you live?
Los Angeles.
Where do you live?
I live in Los Angeles.
Isn't that California? Oh, I said San Francisco.
Yes, I'm not offended by that, but people in San Francisco hate Los Angeles, so they would be very bothered if I were to claim them as a home.
Okay, so start over. Hi, I'm Nancy Friedman, founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor, and with me today is Scott Greenberg. Okay, we'll get to the points. If you don't know Scott, I say you're living under, especially in the franchise industry. And as both of us are speakers, we get interviewed, and not that we get the same old questions, but we get ordinary questions. So I've got out of the box questions for Scott to get you to get to know him a little better. So when you have him as a speaker, you can say, oh, I know a little bit about Scott. So I'm going to read my questions. The first one, it was going to be, where were you born? And now we all know, where were you born? Maybe it was in Los Angeles.
I grew up in San Diego, but I was in fact born in LA.
You were born in LA, grew up in San Diego.
Yes, so my sports allegiances are to San Diego teams, which there's not too many left. But to me, that's home. But LA is where I was born, and it's where I reside now.
Okay, well, I'm a Cub fan, so we're not going to talk about that. However, that's a good thing. All right. I don't need the year, but everybody likes to know what month and day you were born. So go ahead.
October the 10th, so hardcore Libra.
October the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I have many friends on that day, believe it or not.
David Lee Roth was born on October the 10th.
Thank you for that, Scott. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay. This is a personal one. You may or may not want to answer it. You've got a very good picture on your promotional piece and on LinkedIn and everything, but you're not smiling on the PR thing, except on the shots that, when you're on site, everybody does that. Red Boswell's the best on his pictures, don't you think?
All he has to do is look down at his red shoes, and then he just lights up.
He's always, and I love that. He's always surprised, like, oh, I didn't know you were taking the picture. Okay.
Yeah.
So bottom line, is there a reason that you're not smiling? You're so good looking, and I just wonder, I got to ask him.
We got the contact sheet with all the different photos of, that the photographer took. And there's a certain image that my publisher was going for and that kind of thing. We're like, we want to, come across as a guy who is knowledgeable and who is credible. And so a group of people sort of picked that one and we went with it. But you ever know, some people want like the serious business person and some people want someone who's warm and friendly. And so, I can pretend to be either.
And you are either. I just wondered, it is not a bad picture, it is a good picture. I just, knowing your background and reading the book, this is the book, everybody, we're gonna talk about I covered up the title. Who doesn't know the title? Right?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nancy.
If you don't know the title, you get a prize. All right, there it goes. Okay, well, I was curious, and I know about context. Okay, so that's good. When you were growing up, what were your hobbies? Everybody likes to know. What were your hobbies? Did you want to be a fireman, a policeman? Go.
Well, when I was in school, I was like the student council kid, like running for office. So I was really interested in maybe getting a law degree and then, maybe running for Congress or Senate and one day being the president. I had no interest in doing those jobs. I just thought it'd be cool to get the jobs. But that didn't stick too long. I took, some class in college, a law class or something, and I thought, I'm so not interested in that. So maybe at the time it appealed more to my ego than an actual sense of service. But I've always loved traveling. I love hiking. I love playing tennis. I love watching TV. I love watching movies.
Oh,
A lot of people say,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Nancy.
No, my husband says, you interrupt so much. I said, no, I interject. I always let the other person continue. There's a difference. I just interrupted him. And you get the look. You've not met my husband, you get the look. He's reading and he looks up. You should have been an actor. I said, I don't like that look. What do you
Uh-huh.
want? All right, well, that's you have any hobbies now? I mean, that you do, like, you play pickleball. I know everybody asks me, does Scott Greenberg play pickleball?
I haven't played in a while. I play a certain amount of tennis, but my friend and I, who I keep playing with, says, we better get into pickleball pretty soon because as we age, we're going to need the smaller court. But I play tennis, I hike, I love to travel with my family. That's like the coolest thing is in fact, the planning of trips for me is as fun as actually taking the trips. In fact, it's more fun because when I plan it, I'm in complete control. Once we're actually on the trip, then my family members start giving feedback. And it's like, no, you had your chance. They mess up with my plan and my vision. So planning trips is probably my favorite thing to do.
Tell me about your family.
So I've got an awesome wife, Rachel, who is an actor. I've got 2 kids. My son Bailey is going into his second year of college, Augustana College in Illinois, and my daughter is next week starting her first day of her junior year in high school.
And her name is
Peyton.
Peyton?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. There's a guy at my gym whose name is Brad Peyton. Last name is Peyton. So I happened to go into a restaurant and I asked the waitress what her name was. She says, my name is Peyton. I said, is that your first name? I'm going to fix you up with Brad Peyton, and then when you get married, you'll be Peyton Peyton.
I actually know a Nicholas.
That's all sorts of people that, my name is Jim James. Why did they do that? All right, I got to see how ADD I am. I just go off the track. All right.
Memorable.
Okay. Your favorite food and when you travel?
Well, there's my favorite food, and then there's what I get when I travel. Sometimes you got to play it safe in your travel, or you need comfort food. So I probably have a few too many room service cheeseburgers, just because it's a good staple. It's less mysterious. But I love Japanese food. I love Mediterranean food. And here in LA, we've got a ton of both. Awesome sushi here. So those are probably my favorite foods.
All right, everybody likes to know, they want to take you out to lunch or to dinner. Now they know to take you to a Chinese food, or not Chinese, Japanese restaurant. Okay?
As long as it's a coastal city.
Coastal, right, yeah.
No offense to those in the flyover cities, but I prefer to have sushi close to where the fish live.
Never thought about that. That's good. Favorite color?
Red.
Why?
I can't justify it. I just know that it's always been an appealing color, unless I'm looking at my profit and loss statement. I just aesthetically, I love it. It's the color of my car. I like red.
You're entitled. I have no comment on that one.
I'm entitled?
I have no comment on that.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I was going to say I wasn't expecting that feedback, but thanks, Nancy.
No, red is a good color. It's a strong color. It's a power color.
Oh, okay.
Well, used to tell me you should wear red when you speak. I said, I'm comfortable. This is my favorite color. They wouldn't let me get the car in this color. Okay. This question will be easy because you just told me your wife, Rachel, is an actor. I was going to ask you, who is your favorite actor or actress? Go.
Well, there's only one correct answer to that question, especially if you might actually watch this. Otherwise, I like some of the I like De Niro. I think that De Niro is awesome. I've never seen him be anything other than great.
That's true.
But there's a lot of cool people who are coming up, and I love movies. I love Netflix, and so I pay very close attention to that stuff.
Do you know what my son just sent me? The secret codes of Netflix. I will send it to you. You can now type in a number. But if you like De Niro, there's probably the list that says De Niro movies, and a number might be 4444 or 40 whatever. And in the search bar, you type up 4444, and all De Niro movies come up. I'm a crime junkie, so we put in the crime documentaries. I mean, I didn't know existed. I will send you the secret code list.
Thank you. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It is a thing. The other thing I will send you, this is going worldwide, so maybe I shouldn't say it, but I joined a group called Binge and Cringe. Binge and Cringe on Facebook. And it's just an assortment of people. The woman who did it lives in Philadelphia. She's now becoming just her own little spotlight. But you find out things beforehand. It's a good series. It's a bad series. Don't waste your time. Here's something new that's coming up. it is right at your fingertips. So I'm going to send you those two things. In fact, I will invite you to join the Binge and Cringe. It is free. It is your choice to not or join, whatever you want.
Well, thank you. By the way, you're being very nice with what you're offering to send me. So maybe doing this interview actually was a good idea. So
It
thank
is
you.
a good. I'm a giver. You know how people say I'm a people person. I'm a lifelong learner. I happen to be a giver. And
I sense that. I will tell you, my one concern about getting movie recommendations from other people is I find that very often the crowd and myself have very different visions.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm movies and left thinking that was the worst thing I've ever seen, and then a few months later it wins the Academy Award for Best Picture. So I got to be careful about who I listen to and who has some more taste.
yeah,
Generally, I can't trust the general public. I have found.
that'll go over well. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should mention that to you. Binge and Cringe. That focuses more on the cringe part.
It's not bitch and cringe, it's binge and cringe.
Oh, that's what I said, but did it sound
it
that
sounded
way?
like bitch and that's all right.
Oh, okay, good. I might start that group on Facebook.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, absolutely. Okay. I guess I know the answer to this because you told me you love De Niro, but your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, when I was in college, a movie came out, an Italian movie called Cinema Paradiso. I don't know if you remember that. And it's not
Paradiso. Is that what
yeah,
you said?
yeah. And it's not some like, fringe, obscure Italian movie. I think it even won the Academy Award for like best foreign language film. I saw that movie, and that was the day I decided that I wanted to go to film school, because that is how much I love that. And I did go to film school. I didn't stay, but that was why I just thought that movie was absolutely perfect.
Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that movie in a long time, but you do like the classics.
I do. I mean, but the modern stuff is great. Bring me anything Marvel. I love movies. I love great TV, and we are in a golden age. So I'm
Yes.
psyched to be alive now. And if I could retire today and just watch TV all day long, I would be good with. I don't need a sense of purpose. Just give me a good story and and a bowl of
I get it.
popcorn, and I'm all good. I can do that for decades, and I
I
plan
love
to.
it. I love it. And did you get to see the HBO special on Paul Newman and Joan Woodward?
No.
Oh my gosh. That is something I believe, and I'm not going to recommend it to you, just pass it through. It's 5 or 6 series, and all the movies that they made together, which was quite a few. I didn't realize that. I think it's 11. My husband and I are watching now, and they're movies I didn't know existed with both of them. So
Yeah, I'll check it. I've always been interested too in how he came up with that Italian dressing recipe. So,
he tells that he
okay.
is well, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
Favorite song?
Oh, my favorite song. Oh boy, where do I go? My favorite bands these days are, as modern as like Weezer, which I guess isn't that modern. The Kinks, the Rolling Stones. I'm trying to think of what my favorite song would. It sort of changes from month to month. Next week, my wife and I are going to a concert to see the Psychedelic Furs with special guest X, which is this like awesome sort of punk band from the 70s and 80s, who I love, and my wife loves the Psychedelic Furs. So by next week, it'll probably be an X song that I'll have like binged quite a bit this week.
Interesting. Let me know. That's not my genre, but that's why I like people, because we all have different things. All right. Let's go to your book for about 5 minutes, because we know a little bit more about you. Thank you for being so open and honest. Karen Wenning. Am I saying her name right? She'll kill me.
Yes.
Karen, yeah.
If you were to ask me who is my favorite person in franchising, that is whose name would come up. She is the best.
She is the best. And she'd be one I should interview. We talk, we like each other. I have never, obviously, I got sidelined from the IFA. I just don't like to talk about negative. Anyway, she sent me your book.
Thanks, Karen.
About six months ago, and having a chance to honestly to read the whole thing, but naturally the first page I opened it to, which is why you're on this little show, was the Tom, I think it was on page 68, see page 164. You gotta read 164 to why you're here right now. Nancy, why didn't you? Oh, here, I did turn the page. Is it okay if I turned your pages down?
As long as you bought the book, I don't care what you do with
I didn't buy it. It was given to me.
Oh, well, as long as someone paid for it. If it keeps your desk from wobbling in the corner, I'm good with it.
Okay, so here's what I underlined. Sorry, starred. Read what it says.
The untapped opportunity of customer service.
So, and you talk about it, and obviously that's my genre and my little niche, but it is, I mean, everything. My mother had a wonderful saying, and I live by it. I used to tell her things, and she, you know, Nancy, there's very little new, just new people doing it. And and that has kept my feet grounded. When people say, "Oh, I invented the smile," you know, and I'm sure they do that to you. But anyway, bottom line, whether you think you know it all, and some of you do, or you don't know anything, the fun part that I found of this book is that you don't have to start from page 1 and go to the end. You can open it to anything like I did and learn something. I know you've been interviewed 150 times on the book. There's never enough promotion for any book. So like Scott says, if you, what did I write here? Oh, open page 164, which is the customer service page. And anything you want to tell the audience about this? You get this book
About the book or the customer service aspect?
both. I'm open to both.
Well,
Got about 5
about the
more
book.
minutes.
Okay, I really appreciate the comment, first of all, that you can flip to any page and find value. I certainly hope that that is the case. But I really do recommend that people start from the beginning, because the first half of the book is, for me, the foundational piece that most franchisees are missing, which is self-awareness. Understanding how every franchisee is either an asset to their business or a liability. And I want franchisees, people in these businesses, to be more aware of how much their thoughts and emotions are factoring into their daily operation. And so the entire first chunk of the book is about that self-awareness. What are the most common pitfalls, the most common ways franchisees get thrown, and getting all of that under control. And it's not about being positive. It's not about being negative. It's about being clear. I tell people that, the optimist says the glass is half full. The pessimist says the glass is half empty. The wealthy franchisee says the glass has 4 ounces of water, right? It's objective. It's data-based. And so the whole first half of the book is getting the franchisees sort of mentally ready. And then once they have that foundation, then we can get into the more operational pieces, such as how to provide the highest level customer experience, how to inspire and motivate and coach employees, how to make a difference in your community and get along with the franchisor.
Yeah.
All those things are more possible when you have the foundation. So I do encourage people to kind of read from the beginning, but
start from the beginning, everybody. I was wrong. I just opened
but if there's still value for just kind of rolling the dice and going to a page, that's great too. Experience it how you want. But the intention was sort of based on how I described.
It's interesting because I felt that maybe karma brought us together, but for me to open page 164 and see customer service, I got him, I got to talk to him. I got to introduce myself. We should interview.
Yeah, that is kismet. That is sort of
exactly. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar, and I said this is about you, not me, but Telephone Doctor 15, 20 years ago was a franchisor. We had 5 franchisees, 4 we let go very quickly, and 1 we kept too long. So it was not for us. And I know that there were no consultants around. There were no brokers. There were no whatever you want to call them. FranServe just celebrated their 10th anniversary, so they weren't around. We didn't have the pleasure of going to somebody with knowledge. Somebody came to us, and it's a long story. I don't want to go into it now. We were excited. I thought I was going to be the next Silver Learning with a brick and mortar on every corner. But what I found about the franchisees, and I hope you'll agree with me, is they thought they knew more than us. And that's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
So follow the process is so important for franchising for me. I mean, you change the sauce in the McDonald's and you don't have McDonald's. So
yeah. In fact, Nancy, I'll spoil a book if you haven't read it all the way through, or for anybody who reads it, that, I think there's like 85,000 words, but at the end, I kind of boil it down to 3 main ideas, and everything in some way falls under these 3 things that are for me, the ingredients of franchise success. It's keep a clear head, stick to the proven system, which is what you were just saying, and then use your business to improve the lives of everyone it touches. Your employees, your customers, your franchisor, the community. But it's those 3 things. And sticking to the proven system is such a huge part of it. And as soon as you think you know more than your franchisor, that's when you need more self-awareness.
Absolutely.
And something you might know more about. The franchisor has a lot more data. They have a very different and useful perspective. And all the great franchisees who I interview in the book, none of them are worrying about being innovative or creative. They're just trying to execute at a higher standard. But they've outsourced the innovation. So they stick to the proven system and then execute. And that is a huge reason why they're successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wish I had more information, more time to talk to you about edible.
Arrangements.
I, it just flew out. There's
Or are you gonna say edible cookies? I don't know
no,
what
no
you meant
edible
yet, so
arrangement.
you were hesitating, so.
My mother used to say, I said, "Oh my gosh, you just got too much in your head," and I don't they're all together. They're all talking at once. But I'm
Yeah,
still a good person. I'm still going to
maybe
go to
it's
heaven.
maybe it's from too many edibles.
Oh, they are wonderful. I'm glad you're a part of that success.
Thanks.
This was fun for me because I learned a little more about Scott. I can't wait to send you your birthday card on October 10th. Um, we had a stint in San Diego. We lived down there for a while. We had a radio station. I'm sure we were not there at the same time. So it's not that we're paths crossed, but I consider you a friend now. Thank you for making and taking the time here, and you get the last word, as Larry King used to say.
Nancy, I've been watching you for so long. It's such a pleasure to finally be able to do this with you, and I can't wait for our paths to cross soon.
I hope that will happen. Get a program here in St. Louis that I can do. I'm the only place I go on a plane is to the Florida Keys for our condo trip. God bless you. God bless your family. Hi, Rachel. I'd love to meet her. The kids, Peyton and
Bailey.
Bailey with a B like boy,
Mhm.
like the drink.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, we named him after an Irish cream.
I'm sure you did. Okay. You have a wonderful time. Where are you going next?
I'm going to Orlando next week.
Good for you. Good for you. God, thank you for the time. Everybody, Scott Greenberg, give him a long round of applause. You learned a lot from him. I want to know what you learned that was most interesting. Okay, you under the thing. This will probably get published in a week or so after it gets cleaned up. Edited, I think is the word. Okay, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Nancy.
Now we can